Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Rockford police shut down part of State Street after a multi-vehicle crash. We'll tell you how many ambulances were needed. After last year has canceled many traditional events, state line families are happy this hunt was back on. And Georgia adds a new election law that Democrats say restricts access. Find out if the federal government could step in. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. Thanks for joining us tonight. 7 ambulances respond to a multi-vehicle crash in Rockford this afternoon. It happened on East State Street and Palm Avenue around 10:20 this morning. Police shut down the road. They say at least one person is seriously injured. Rockford fire crews said 2 vehicles required extractions to get the passengers out. The crash is under investigation. We'll provide more details once they're available on air and online at mystateline.com. A road rage incident leads to a man being shot in McChesney Park. It happened last night around 11:20 at the intersection Street and Maple Avenue. Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies say a male was taken to a local hospital after being hit. His injuries are non-life threatening. Police are looking for a suspect. They ask anyone with information on this shooting to call the Detective Bureau or Crime Stoppers. The Rockford Fire Department responds to a commercial structure fire earlier today. It happened at Secondary Solutions Incorporated on 20th Avenue. Fire crews say heavy smoke was coming from the building. It took them about 20 minutes to put out the fire. No one was hurt. The damages are estimated at $200,000. Roscoe police are asking for the public's help in identifying the owner of this vehicle. This vehicle is also posted on their Facebook page. They say last Saturday, someone defaced part of a property on Hononegah Road near Schnucks. If anyone has information, call police. A Beloit man out on probation is back behind bars after threatening residents with a gun. It happened shortly after 1 this morning. Janesville police responded to Cherry Street, just a block north of Monterey Park, for an armed disturbance call. Police say Ladarian Brackens was standing outside of a Janesville home with a gun, threatening victims. No shots were fired. Brackens fled before officers arrived, but was later caught in the city of Beloit. Authorities say he's a convicted felon. Brackens now faces felon in possession of a firearm and disorderly conduct while armed charges. A Wisconsin man is arrested for his 4th OWI offense. Police say around 11:50 Friday night, Stephen Faust was stopped for a traffic violation. He failed field sobriety testing. Authorities took him to the Rock County Jail. He also faces multiple charges. 8 people are injured, 2 dead following multiple shootings in Virginia Beach. It happened Friday night shortly before 11 p.m. Virginia Beach police say there were 3 separate shooting incidents. The victims were taken to local hospitals. Their injuries range from serious to life-threatening. An officer fatally shot an armed man that was on scene of the second incident. 3 people have been charged.
What you can see is we have a very chaotic incident, a very chaotic night in the beach, many different crime scenes.
This isn't the only incident that happened out east. Last night, 7 people were shot in Philadelphia. 3 are listed in critical condition. Illinois health officials report over 2,600 cases of COVID-19 today, with 25 more people dying from the virus. 2 of those deaths come from the state line, a male in his 50s from Lee County and a female in her 80s from Winnebago County. The weekly statewide test positivity sits at above 3%. More than 136,000 Illinois residents rolled up their sleeves for a dose of the COVID vaccine yesterday. Statewide, over 5.4 million doses have been administered in total. The weekly rolling average of vaccines administered daily is near 100,000 doses. As more residents are getting vaccinated, local health officials offer some advice on vaccine cards. They say to treat them like your ID and Social Security card. Vaccination cards cannot be replaced if they're damaged or lost. They advise to keep them in a safe place and don't forget to bring with for your second dose. Kids in the state line have been able to have more and more opportunities to collect Easter eggs in hunts. Ari Brookman went to one today. Families tell you after a year full of canceled events, they were happy to be able to go to one today.
Yeah, Alexis, between remote learning and the uncertainty created by the pandemic in the last year, parents were happy to be outside with their kids spending time as a family.
3, 2, 1, go!
Camp Winnebago held their first ever Easter egg hunt. The hunt was open to kids of all ages, with thousands of eggs, candy, and prizes. As a father, James Parham saw how difficult it was for so many kids to be at home all of the time during the pandemic. He tells me it was very important to attend the event.
I felt it was important for them to get out, just enjoy nature. It isn't a perfect day, but just to be around a lot of kids his ages and just to have fun. That's what it is, you know, kids need exercise, we got to move around, everybody's masked up, we got the distance going, so everything is safe and sound.
Hannah Long is the program director for Camp Winnebago. She tells me putting this event on was a top priority.
Having kids getting to spend more time with their families, their grown-ups, and we really missed having our kids back out here. So the biggest thing was getting kids back out at camp, as well as just having that family time.
13-year-old Sarah Dorsey has been coming to Camp Winnebago for 7 years now. She was happy to be outside with her friends and family in a place that she loves. But as most kids know, when it comes to Easter egg hunts, it's all about finding those special eggs with the best prizes.
To find a golden egg and get a free week of camp. There are like 2 or 3 eggs with free week golden tickets.
Or all the golden eggs. The golden eggs.
To ensure the safety of everyone there, they divided up the hunts into 3 different time slots to allow for social distancing. Alexis?
All right, thanks, Sari. The White House is looking at what it can do to stop Georgia's new election law from taking effect. Coming up, how Washington is reacting to the election bill.
And we're back in the 60s today, though we didn't see a whole lot of sunshine. The sunshine returns tomorrow, but it's not going to be nearly as warm. Find out when the sunshine and mild weather will meet again coming up in the forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Alexis Carpello, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
President Joe Biden says the Justice Department is taking a closer look at Georgia's new election law. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer shares more details from Washington. She's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
President Biden and Democrats here on Capitol Hill are slamming Georgia's new election law. They say it's designed to restrict access to the polls. The president is hinting the federal government could step in.
It's an atrocity.
President Joe Biden is calling Georgia's new election law Jim Crow in the 21st century. The sweeping reforms signed into law by Georgia's Republican governor on Thursday require voter ID for absentee ballots, limit the use of ballot drop boxes, shorten early voting, and make it a crime to offer voters food and water as they wait in line to vote.
This is nothing but punitive, designed to keep people from voting. You can't provide water for people about to vote. Give me a break.
Black voters in Georgia's urban neighborhoods frequently face hours-long lines to vote.
We don't know quite exactly what we can do at this point. The Justice Department is taking a look as well.
Vice President Kamala Harris took aim at the law.
To intentionally, I believe, attempt to prevent whole populations of people from exercising their constitutional right.
Well, I just don't think that's true.
Zach Smith with the Heritage Foundation says the laws are trying to make the election process more secure.
It certainly doesn't seem like it's voter suppression or intended to reduce turnout when it requires at least 2 Saturdays of early voting to be allowed and then gives counties the option to allow 2 Sundays.
Georgia is the first political battleground state to overhaul its election system this year. Lawmakers here on Capitol Hill are debating a new voting rights bill that could expand access to the polls. Democrats call it their top priority, but Congress is currently on a 2-week break. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
David Greenberg will join us later in sports. He has highlights and more from today as the rain held off and made it for a beautiful day of high school football. Plus, Mother Nature could be serving up some serious sunshine for your work week. Kevin will let us know more in his full First Warn weather forecast next. You're watching Eyewitness News at 6.
Now Now, your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Well, Saturday was filled with cloudy skies overhead, a few light showers here and there. Not really much has changed over the course of the day either. We're still seeing those cloudy skies overhead. We still have a few very light, very isolated showers moving through parts of the area, but for the most part, the rain is over and done with through the rest of the night. Now, we do have a cold front up to our northwest, which is throwing up some showers up into Minnesota and parts of northwestern Iowa. That is headed in our direction. Now, most of this rain, pretty much all of it actually, should dissipate before that cold front actually makes its way across the state line later on tonight. So despite the green you just saw here on our Futurecast over the next few hours, I'm thinking we're really done with the rain. Maybe just a few very light, very isolated showers over the next couple of hours. Pretty much just what we've been seeing all day today. But we will hang on to that cloud cover through the evening and through most of the overnight as well. But through tomorrow morning, we're going to see some nice clearing in our cloud cover as some drier air is introduced into the area. That's going to lead to a good deal of sunshine for our Sunday. And then we're going to keep that dry air flowing in as we head on into Monday. Maybe just a few more clouds overhead Monday morning as our winds shift to come out of the south now. But we should still see mostly sunny conditions to ring in our next work week. Here's a live look over the rock in downtown Beloit using a Mercial SkyTrack, where we're still just seeing those cloudy skies overhead. Yeah, it's cloudy, but at least it was nice and warm today. Temperatures made it into the 60s across the area. Now most areas back down to the 50s. We're still at 61 in Rockford, 58 in Rochelle right now, 60 in DeKalb, and 55 currently up in Janesville. Temperatures are cooling off, though, fairly quickly, and that's thanks to a shift in our wind direction, whereas we were seeing southerly and southwesterly winds all day. Now we're starting to see more westerly winds, even northwesterly in a couple of areas. That's actually flowing in some cooler air into the state line. Our weather watcher Jim here in Rockford checking in with a temperature of 61 degrees and just a little bit of rain, 4/100 of an inch since midnight last night. Now temperature is really going to be all over the place in this upcoming week. After reaching lower 60s today, as we saw, we're going to be down to near 50 degrees for a high tomorrow before shooting back up into the 60s for both Monday and for Tuesday. Then look at this, highs drop into the lower 40s for Wednesday. We'll likely see even a few spots fail to escape the 30s, 40s again for Thursday before we're back up into the mid-50s for Friday, even looking like we're going to hit 60s again by the weekend. Now the reason for this big swing in temperatures all has to do with the speed and direction of our winds. That's going to be influenced by strong systems of high and low pressure that are going to be moving through the area over this next week. So this system of low pressure is what brought us that little bit of rain earlier on today. This system's warm front moved overhead early this morning, and that's what really warmed things up for today. But as this moves off to our east, we're going to see those winds shift to northwesterly. The system of high pressure is going to help out with that as it moves to our southwest. It's really going to cool things down for tomorrow, bring those highs, as we saw, down to the low 50s, probably even upper 40s in several spots. Now as we head into Monday, we have another system of low pressure moving up to our northwest. Our winds are going to come back to southerly, bring a lot of warm air into the state line for Monday. That's what's going to bring us back into the 60s for Monday and Tuesday. We have a strong cold front tied to this system, though, that's going to be moving through the area midday on Tuesday, and that's really going to cool things down for Wednesday. That's when we're going to see those highs drop back down into the 40s. This system of high pressure is going to keep things nice and cool as we head on into Thursday. Now looking ahead to the weekend, we see another system of low pressure moving in from the northwest as we head on into Friday, and that is going to warm things back up. Now for tonight, we're going to drop down to the middle to upper 30s. Mostly cloudy skies overhead for most of the night, though we'll see a good deal of clearing early tomorrow morning, leading to a good deal of sunshine for our Sunday. As we saw, highs going to drop down to the lower 50s, probably even upper 40s in several spots across the state line. 60s again for Monday and Tuesday. Now, aside from this big swing in temperatures over the next week or so, we're also going to see very dry conditions with only a slight chance of a little bit of rain come late Tuesday.
Thanks, Kevin. David Greenberg is in next with sports. There's plenty of high school football to go around. David's got highlights from all of the games around the state line.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Plenty of high school football from around the state line to get to. Let's start with the top-ranked Lena Winslow Panthers in Class 1A. They suffered a season-opening loss to Princeton last week. Today, they took on Orangeville over at Freeport's Turf Field. Running back Mari Roby was injured last week, but told me his surgery went well, so he'll be in a walking boot in a few weeks' time. The Panthers' defense came out flying early on. Jake Doyle fires right side for the Broncos. It's tipped into the air and snagged by Jake Zeal, who brings Lee Wynn within striking distance. A few plays later, that's Jensen Block getting the carry and taking it 25 yards to the house. Then we got a great look at Roby's replacement, Ethan Fye, taking the carry around the right side, getting the edge, making defenders miss, breaking a tackle, 55 yards down the sideline. He goes back on the bench now. Roby was the first person there to congratulate him. Lewin bounced back and pick up the 22-12 win over Orangeville. In the Nick 10, Hononegah looks like the top team in the conference, and they reminded us again why taking on Auburn today. Hononegah got the ball to start the game. Here's the opening kickoff. It's taken by Bryce Goodwine. He cuts it back inside, gets some help from his blockers, and he could go all the way. That set the tone for this game right from the word go. The Indians welcomed back Jared Straight-Lutzo to the field, and he rewarded them with a score. If you got a guy who's 6'7", just throw it up to him and take your points. Not only are things rolling right now, the future is bright for Hano. Junior quarterback Isaac Wisenand's a big reason why, rolling right, firing downfield, and right on the money to Bryce Goodwine. Hononegah wins big again, 50-0. There's one team that can rival Hononegah. It's the Harlem Huskies, who hosted Freeport today. Check this out. On their first play of the second half, James Cooper takes the snap, running a flea flicker, and on a dime, Cooper launches it downfield to Dominic McCarron, wide open for the score. Cooper again gets it, rolls right, looking, finds Adrian Palos on 4th and 10, picks up the first down, gets some blocks, and he'd get in for the touchdown. Harlem's already up big at this point. On the option, Cooper keeps. There goes that man, spinning and lowering his shoulder, punching it in for 6. The Huskies blow out Freeport 48-7. Check out a big Northern game from Mendota, where Byron and Oregon played on the Trojans' home turf. First quarter, Byron running back Josiah Featherston gets outside, gets the lane, and he goes 69 yards for the touchdown. We are tied up at 8-8 in the fourth quarter now. Oregon running back Wiley Rice breaks through the middle, and he goes 31 yards, fighting off 3 defenders to get into the end zone, tied up at 16 now. Just under 5 minutes to play. Byron running back Chandler Binkley goes over the right side for the go-ahead and eventual game-winning touchdown. Your final from this one, Byron 24, Oregon 16. In the big Northern game, Stillman Valley just topped Winnebago 21-10. One more game from the Nick 10 coming up tonight. Kickoff from Harlem's at 7 p.m., where the Boylan Titans will take on Belvedere North. And after an impressive win over the Illini in the round of 32, the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago have fallen in the Sweet 16 to the Oregon State Beavers 65-58. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Here's a look at our first Warren Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass & More. Rain's just about given up for the day. Cloudy skies are going to give way to a rather sunny Sunday tomorrow. Much cooler, though. Highs only near.
Thanks for making us your home team. We'll see you at 10.